Everybody, today I will talk about a topic bionics. Um, a team member is James, me, Tien, and Ronan. Four people. The content of this presentation includes introduction, what is bionics, the principle, the contribution of bionics, um, the available bionic product like disability, ear, eyes, limbs, and military robot suit. And finally, the conclusion. At first, what is bionics? Bionics is the application of biological method and system found in nature applied study and design of engineering system with modern technology. Bionics is a combination of biology and electronics. The principle of bionics. In case of some part of body are malfunction or lost caused by stroke or accident, while the part of the brain which control this movement work well. A signal from brain could be extracted, transferred, and implemented into the prosthetic system. Its purpose is integrating and cooperating with human body, help people do desired motion, get the vision, or can hear normal sound. It is the timeline of bionic history. At first, in 1958, the term bionic was established by Jack Steele, and it grew up in 1981. David Rose joined Margaret Rose Hospital in Edinburgh, and it will continue to grow up more complicated, modern, and easy to use. In 2010, 2015, up to now, and now it can do a most complicated job like pick up something, and it can extract the brain from the user and do whatever they want. The very important part of bionic is imitating nature. A study of bionic often emphasizes implementing a function found in nature rather than imitating biological structure. For example, a spider shaping structure to create Kevlar armor bulletproof. Here, because the fiber of the spider web is extremely strong, it looks tiny and thin, but it can block fly like bee or catch the flying object. And it can make it at a room temperature without chemical solvent. It's cheap, easy to produce, and apply in protective military as clothing. But this Kevlar armor is really popular now. And another application is make shell cloth, hot air balloon material, bike or skateboard helmet. It's light and strong. Now its disability part. Timmy will continue to present it.
Okay, I'm gonna continue our presentation, which is disability. Okay, like Nam said earlier about the bionic eyes. Now I'm gonna talk about how it works. First, the digital camera sends the image to the pockets processor, and then the processor will go to the image will be transferred to the antenna at the back of the glasses, and then the wireless link to the brain, and the user can see the image. And how a bionic ear works. First, the sound processor captures sounds and convert them to the digital code. The sound the second process is the cell processor transmit the digital code cell through the coil to the implant just under the skin. And the third step is the implant converts the digital coded cell to the electrical impulse and send them along to the electrode array, which is deposited in the cochlea. And the last step is the implant electrode stimulates the cold-hearing nerve, which send the impulse to the brain, where they are interpreted as sound. Okay. Besides the eyes and ear bionic, we gonna have the mind control bionic arm. There are four fundamental parts of this section. First, the electrodes attach the muscle respond to thoughts, and the second process is the computer processes signal from the electrode. Then the third process is the model in the arm provided movement. Besides that, we also have the four processes, and it will describe briefly and clearly about how it works. First process, the following amputation nerve ending remain, and the nerve rerouted to the healthy muscle. The third is when the patient think about moving arm muscle contracts, and the last one is the electrode detect movements and signal to the processor. This is the older version about the bionic arm was created in 1993. And this is the modest one, and it's very popular nowadays. And this is the short video about the bionic arm.
So now I'm going to turn on the arm. Can I go up? Okay, and back down.
This is the most complex robotic arm in existence today. You can control that using thought in the brain. As humans, we are tool users. And every time we invent a new tool,
and Ronan will continues our part. Sorry.
3.
Alright, so this is the new generation prosthetic limb made by Hugh Herr. And as you can see, pretty much recreates a human limb, allowing it to walk. So the way this works is the original limb is up here, and that's embedded in kind of or surrounded by a casing holds it in place, which also has like electrodes in it so that it can read the signals from the limb. The battery is stored around here. The spherical attachment leg here allows for a smoother motion and more sort of full motion. And then we have the sort of the brain of it down here. That's what takes in the signals and then sends power to the different motors, which allow it to move properly so that it works like it should. Here I've got our diagram of it. The control circuit is up here, and we have a motor which allows for motion, and then the ball screw transmission. The ankle joint here, which is just another motor that moves like this. An angle sensor, which basically can tell where the leg is so that it knows how to adjust and react when necessary. Again, battery stored right about there. And the carbon composite foot. This is just so that it's lightweight, flexible, but very strong, because that's obviously where all the weight is, so that's needs to be pulled up. Alright, so the principle of prosthetic limb. Basically, the battery in it is a rechargeable battery that can last 5 days. This is so that you don't really have to worry about it throughout the week, and then, on the weekend you can charge your legs around the couch wherever you want. You have a knee movement sensor, which kind of senses again where the leg is so that it knows how to react properly. The ankle sensor senses where the ankle is. And we have a gyroscope in it as an accelerometer to be able to tell how fast it's moving and how where it's moving. And it's powered by hydraulics, because hydraulics are much stronger than both electronic motors as well as pneumatics, and hydraulics last a lot longer too. And the frame of the entire thing is made out of carbon fiber because it's very strong, very lightweight, and fairly easy to mass produce. So that makes it really good and cheap for people who can't really afford it usually. We have a little video of it. And now Military by James.
So my part was on the military and the application of Bionics to it. So a main application of it is back in March 19, 2018, the U.S. military was able to create a exoskeleton suit that is essentially super armor, allowing for soldiers to have augmented physical attributes such as Tony Stark in the Iron Man series. A further advancement could end up looking like these. Examples of this would be equipped with things such as bionic eyes for night vision, bionic legs which allow for shock absorbent drops, the additive of a reinforced spine to allow increased carry weights, and a bunch of other technologies that would further enhance human skills and abilities. Some inventions of these exoskeleton suits would be to not only help them lift more things by reinforcing their arms and their legs, but also if they end up losing their arms and legs at a previous point in their career, they could now essentially quadruple their carrying strength as they both regain limbs and have stronger ones than they originally did. Things such as muscle fatigue also wouldn't apply, as they wouldn't be able to produce the lactic acid that normally is exuded when exerting the body. And then just by having variations of part allows them to be a modular soldier, meaning that they can perform tasks that they would need to more specialize in, such as having more strength, more firepower, more speed, and so on and so forth. The example you can see here is if they had a bionic helmet of sorts, allowing them to both see in the dark and essentially have a HUD, such as the video games such as Halo, Call of Duty, and all those other future military war games. But the bionics for military applications don't only apply to humans. It also can be applied to things such as animals and such. For example, the DARPA-funded Berkeley researchers had equipped one of their trained beetles to essentially fly around and do reports. And then you can also use things such as bees to, scout areas and actually for some animals such as rats to detect landmines. Where typically people do not want to go themselves, as it's very dangerous or could potentially be very lethal. This would be an example of how a bionic insect would be formulated, as it has a very close skeleton proportions to a bee, allowing them to, fly around, seem sort of inconspicuous, but still allowed for recon operations. Another one would be such as a bionic fish, allowing marine recon and exploration of deep sea environments that normally are inaccessible as they have too high of a pressure for humans to go themselves. This is its way. Conclusion. In conclusion, there are many advantages and disadvantages to bionics. Some main advantages include the ability to enhance people's lives by giving them back something they would have lost, and or possibly making it better than they were previously. Some disadvantages, however, is the fact that bionics are not always reliable, as they are a manufactured product as opposed to a normal human limb. And then there's the cost, how some of the very sophisticated ones can be very expensive, as they need to be created out of very high quality products. And then the fact that there are some moral dilemmas that would pop up when people start using them too much. So towards the future, people will eventually be able to become disabled people will be allowed to become a more integral part of society, as they will essentially be fixed because they'll be able to do things that a lot of normal people could do, but also sometimes even better. But who knows? There are many new advancements being created, and the future is constantly changing, allowing for many new advancements in technology.